Yeah, go for it.
Welcome, and this is the recorded game for Week 6 Risen eSports Rampage League between O66 and Feed the Dream. My name is Eldwest, and with me is my co-caster Arthur Cook.
How's it going today?
Well, it's going pretty good. This is I'm gonna go a little personal here. This is a match I want to see. I have some friends on one of the teams, Feed the Dream specifically, so really want to see him in his official capacity on a team. It's team sport. It's
Of course.
so different.
I'm excited for this match too, for similar reasons, although I'm not personally friends with anyone on Feed the Dream. I'm excited because they are the only Rampage team from Season 3 to be returning under the same name.
That's a good point. Now, we will be starting up the draft shortly with Feed the Dream on the blue side and 066 on the red side. And this is a little bit tricky because Feed the Dream coming into this has 2 subs. As a result, they also switched around 2 of their members. Their original top laner Tide 1 is moved to jungle as a result of one of the subs being moved to top lane. Jungle is Tide's secondary position, and they also have Bofom, I believe, as their other sub.
No, I believe Bofom is part of their starting roster.
Oh yes, sure. Bofom is part of the starting roster. They have not yet a Saint subbing in for Biangelo, it seems, and we already have 2 bans on either side. Kaisa and Pike banned out for Feed the Dream, and Malzahar and Vilkaz banned out for Order 66 now.
This is really interesting. Kaisa and Pike are not all that surprising as bans. Kaisa, even though she has kind of been hit a little hard by all of the crit ADC changes that hit in 8-12, she's still a very oppressive ADC in some matchups. And Pike, of course, is topping many tier lists for the best support pick currently. So those make sense. Malzahar and Vel'Koz, on the other hand, Order 66, are very clearly targeted bans against the mid lane. Tamed is the captain and shot caller for Feed the Dream, so it absolutely does make sense strategically to try to pinch him a little bit.
It does make sense. However, it seems like Tame's strong point is his macro play, and these are very, well, I wouldn't exactly say Vilkaz and Malzahar are the most mechanically intensive champions, so to speak. And actually, come to think of it, that doesn't make sense. You pinch out his pool, force him onto a more difficult champion, so he doesn't have time to, play the map, play the team, and make the macro shot calls. Malzahar is a little bit, how do I say it, easier to lane with while playing the team, playing the map.
You might say he's the Garen of the mid lane.
Alright, let's see if he can maintain that Garen win rate, so to speak.
Oh boy, okay, so
Garen still has 100%
we've got picks here. Oh boy, here we go. Okay,
That's true.
so
Yeah, I missed that.
Nami getting picked for the support. Strong, very strong right now. I believe last I checked, the highest win rate in solo queue of any support currently.
Yep.
Cho'Gath is very much a comfort pick for Feed the Dream this season. Tamed has been running him in the mid lane very often, and it's been working out for him. Same for Dr. Mundo, which is interesting because they have a sub this week.
Well, that's the interesting thing about that. Of course, as you all know, LCS, LCK, whatever you want, the Pro League has started back up Southern Split this week, and Mundo has actually come out in droves. The most recent one as of this series was yesterday, in which Khan on Lonzu played Mundo for 3 games, I believe the whole series. Did very well, and Mundo is a pretty strong pick right now, very solid in lane, has a ton of health in a meta where turrets are kind of just like paper glass cannons right now.
Yeah, if a Mundo player knows what he's doing, there should be very little reason for him to ever give up a kill in lane.
Definitely. On the other side, we have blatantly ignored we have Jax, Ezreal, and Taric. Now this is the interesting thing. Taric is a flex.
Yeah, he could be mid now.
Yeah, and especially with that Graves pickup in the second round, he could definitely be the mid, and that is that's a new strategy coming out recently across.
Yeah, you mentioned the LCK starting, and notably this last week of matches, Faker, the mid laner for SKT, played Taric in the mid lane. SKT finally succumbed and they finally succumbed to playing the dreaded Taric Yi cheese strat. It didn't work out for them. They did definitely still go down 2-0.
That was I just want to go a little rant here. You have your star player, Faker, the best player in the world, and you put them on the support. You have Blossom. He is, of course, a decent jungler by all standards. Good on the carries, but that's not what you should have done if you were SKT. Put your star player on a support, and
that was it. It was really something to behold. Honestly, I would not be surprised to see Faker start thinking very seriously about leaving.
Yeah.
Because
the only thing
at the end of the day, what he's always said is he doesn't care about money.
Yeah, he
doesn't care about salary. Yeah, he wants to stay with SKT as long as that allows him to play at the highest level of the sport. And right now, that's not the case.
Yeah, you're right. That is what he said at the beginning. He said he liked SKT because SKT allowed him to become the greatest player in the world. He can't live up to that potential right now, not with this team around him.
Yeah.
So we have sort of forgot about the actual game at hand here. With this, we have our actual lineup for FTD. It will be Mundo top. Actually, is that Mundo
I'm not
jungle?
Sure of that, actually.
Would that be Mundo jungle?
It could be Mundo jungle. Alternatively, it could be Cho'Gath jungle. Mundo, it's not great, but Mundo does get run in the mid lane sometimes. Yeah. I mean, he is a really safe farmer. Although I don't know why you would run Mundo in the mid lane into a Taric.
Yeah, now the idea is, I believe it will be Mundo jungle. So that Renekton top is probably the guaranteed one. You know, into a Jax.
Oh wait, hold on. Check this out for a second. It was notable to me, just really interesting to see that you didn't really get either team indulging in the non-marksman bot lane meta so far.
True.
What if Twitch is in the jungle and Renekton is the ADC?
Stop.
But it's not. We have confirmation in the lobby right now. Renekton is the top lane.
Now, even though it's not exactly the quote-unquote marksman, it's not even a marksman meta, just a meta in which marksmans don't even exist and at a dominant level anymore. Ezreal is probably the only one that's still playable.
Yep.
That's not
even with the massive base armor nerf that he took, he's still very, very strong in lane.
Definitely. So, alright, with that login, it will be confirmed. Renekton top, Mundo jungle, Cho'Gath mid, Twitch ADC, and Nami support.
This actually makes a lot of sense with Tie-Dye being on an off roll. He's not playing in the top lane. He's in the jungle. He is still finding a way to play a comfort pick,
that does make sense,
is exactly what you want, I think.
Now,
when you have a strong top laner being forced into the jungle on an off roll.
Definitely. He has played Mundo in the past weeks of Risen and to good success. Decent enough success. Has warranted bans in the past, I believe. So, although Jungle Mundo is a little bit different. Mundo is picked for his laning power, his inability to die, so to speak.
Yeah.
Right now. Now on the flip side...
So, yeah, go ahead.
On the flip side, O66, they have a slightly more straightforward team comp. They have a lot more damage, albeit lacking in magic damage. And the most interesting thing about this comp is that they will be attempting this Taric Graves duo jungle mid strategy, in which they get this Graves farmed up to an immense amount. Taric plays double support.
Yep, they play that. They play that gold funneling strategy.
Now it's just up to the teams to see if they can execute to the same level that we have seen being executed in the pro leagues. I think the most I saw was Peanut getting to maybe 400 CS pre 30 minutes.
Ooh.
That was something.
Wow. That is spectacular. And honestly, terrifying.
I expect that from a silver player, by the way.
Yeah.
I have the highest levels of hope for these teams.
Yeah. Yeah, sure. We'll see what happens. So as we're now just about ready to get into the 3-minute spectator delay here, let's talk just a little bit about the context of this matchup right now. We are in the second week of that middle section of the new format of Rampage League, where instead of where they spent the first 3 weeks playing within their own division, playing against the other teams in their own division, and now we're in that second segment where they will play 4 weeks in a row against the 4 teams in their sister division.
Definitely.
And I believe, based on my analysis, that Order 66 and Feed the Dream are on roughly even footing in terms of their strength. The thing is, though, that Division 6, which is where Order 66 is coming from, is a stronger division. I think that this is a game that is a toss-up that could go either way, but Order 66 really needs this win a lot more because the top 2 in Order 66's division is going to be a lot harder to crack. Where Feed the Dream is really only worried about T9, if they can kind of tuck into that second place behind T9, they will make it into playoffs. Order 66, they need to worry about SOS that is 4-0. They have not dropped a game yet in this entire season. And HSR, who's now 3-1. So O66, if they can win this, they can maybe tuck up into that second place spot, but they're going to be fighting for their life really hard if they can't get this one.
Definitely. And I will have to say, agree with you that it is harder for Order 66. Now, they are both currently 2-2 coming into this, but due to a controversy before certain games were turned against FTD that they have won with a player that is no longer with Risen right now. And if those went without the whole controversy, FTD would be 4-0 right now at the top of the group. Now, that being said, those 2 wins were with a player that is too skilled for Rampage, so to speak. And, this is all, what could have been sort of thing. Could FTD have won if they had their current lineup in those games? Maybe, maybe not. But
I would say that yes, because the game in particular that got actually, I don't know. T9 is a very, very strong squad. Yeah, that would have been, and that's who that of course is the opponent that had a win rewarded to. Yeah, I don't know. I think it would have been it would have been a match to watch, that's for sure.
However, the idea is FTD still has most of that core that won them those early 2 games, and while they may have gotten a stronger player than is deserved, it's not like that player was the only catalyst for the wins. The remaining 4 players had to have stepped up, and I'm just thinking going ahead for the rest of the splits, FTD look to have an easier chance of getting out of groups than Order 66.
Yeah, because basically in each of these 2 divisions, you've got one team that's kind of a wash. You've got Team 21
which
in Division 5 that is disbanded, and you have DAB in Division 6 that I don't believe has disbanded, but they're 0-4. They've FF'd their last 2 matches. They might as well have.
Yeah, seems just the fire's out,
Yeah. So Feed the Dream, of course, has to deal with Team 9, which is kind of in the undisputed top slot in the division right now, and BMO, which I think you'd be hard-pressed to give any sort of convincing argument that FTD is not a better team than BMO. I do think FTD is a lot stronger.
Yeah. FTD has that playmaking potential that is seldom seen at this level of play. That it's reminiscent of what happened last season. Friday Night Feeders,
Yeah.
with their
Oh, boy.
captain. What they've since been promoted to dominate due to their strength and Rampage. That level macro, no, they were good. They were good mechanically. Don't get me wrong, but that level macro is what pushed them way and beyond to have a nearly perfect split.
Yeah, they did incredible work. I really do believe that I really do believe that it is in fact their macro that carried them that far. Their macro and their strategic flexibility. They are one of the only teams that I have seen anywhere in Risen that actually made active use of their dedicated sub, rather than it being a situation where it was like, oh, we'll take our sub if one of our players can't make it. They actively were swapping in and out their dedicated sub.
Definitely, they did it like everywhere. I think they did it every single game of the playoffs, every single series.
Yeah. And honestly, being able to keep everyone on, keep their opponents on their toes that way, I think also played a really big factor in just in allowing them to dominate as strongly as they.
Definitely. I believe due to their dedicated sub and the fact that one of the roles that the dedicated sub plays in, one of their main roster members can actually flex between two roles. If I'm remembering
Sadly,
correctly.
of course, now in Dominate, Friday Night Feeders is 0-4 currently.
Yeah.
So perhaps the decision to move up to the higher tier of play was a little bit premature, but there's a lot of games left to play so far
Are
this
they
split.
forced up there?
No, what they were given a choice. If they could stay together as 5, as is the custom for Risen League winners, you get the choice, the opportunity to come back as a 5 stack. But if they wanted to come back as 5, they had to move up to Dominate because of their strength and the fact that they were multiple-time winners of
Definitely.
Rampage. If they wanted to stay in the individual players are allowed to stay in Rampage if they liked, but they had to be broken up and follow the normal pre-made rules.
No. Well, it's nice of them to stay together, you know? The whole
Oh,
ride or die
yeah, I
thing.
mean, I love it when teams do that, hence my enthusiasm about Feed the Dream. I really, really like that opportunity to have multi-season storylines like that, and, well, most players don't really do that.
Alright, now, no more of that. We are in game, Feed the Dream on the bot side, and Tide almost sees 3 members of the Order 66 in the jungle. Hope they don't execute on him. Anyways, MMY in the top lane, Tide in the jungle, tamed in mid, both of them on AD carry, and not yet a Saint on support.
Definitely looks like some aggressive posturing, like a potential invade coming down from Order 66.
Order 66, Exonotic, that nice little bit of poke. Running that Airy on Ezreal. Now, I haven't really kept up with the whole Ezreal Keystone. He's flip-flop between 3 or 4 of them.
Yeah, you can always see him. You see him playing Airy, you see him playing Klepto, and I believe it's one of the precision tree keystones, but I don't remember whether it's press the attack or fleet footwork. We do have a pause. No word yet from the teams as to the reason.
Now, what would you take if you're running teleport Ezreal?
If I was running teleport Ezreal, I don't know. I feel like in that case I'd want Klepto. Definitely Klepto or Airy. Klepto I would be more inclined to take just because it's a pokier one, and when you don't have the benefit of that summoner heal cushion, it's harder to stay in combat long enough to really make the precision tree keystones worthwhile. Ah, there we go. A support on the side of Order 66 was still loading in. But we're getting back into game right now.
Alright. Now that we are back in game, we'll see what happens.
Looks like they backed down from that potential invade.
Yep. Considering the fact that their support wasn't there due to the disconnect, it would not be a good idea. Now I know it's
Surprisingly aggressive play from this Tarek.
Oh, he can do that in the early game, which leads me into my next point. Cho'Gath may be a comfort pick for team, but I find it to be a now he picked it before a Tarek, of course. It's not suitable into a Tarek. It's simply due to the fact
you've
that
got a little,
Tarek
you
is
got a
known
little
for his
poke.
anti-melee, right?
Yeah.
Cool. Top lane. Oh, this is very low. This is some huge amounts of trading back and forth. MMY is in that second part of his ultimate. Goes in for a flash, uses the Ruthless, but does not manage to get the last little bit. Counter strike! Oh! And Cleaver gets first blood for a side of Feed the Dream. Trade kill, of course, but gold advantage to Feed the Dream considering his first blood. Gold. Nami gets hooked in and gets hit up with that Aftershock. Thresh is still level 1 though, so there's no flay play available yet.
Yeah, I definitely think that was not just because of the first blood advantage. That was definitely in favor of Team Feed the Dream. A, because of first blood advantage, and B, because the kill that Jax got didn't have any assist gold going out.
Yeah, that too, of course.
Of course, with the fact that interesting to note here that Jax teleported back to lane and Renekton opted to save his TP, which seems to suggest that FTD might be
up top again,
looking to get a big bot side play.
Now Jax goes in for a little bit of poke, but of course Jax is sort of low on the whole CC side. Jax goes back in and actually gets the kill onto Tie-Dye and now has double buffs. MMY can't trade in this, especially with the fact that Graves is up here and now dies to the Graves. Now 2 members on the side of O66 have double buffs. That's not what you want to happen.
That's really unfortunate. I think my theory as to what happened there is that Tie-Dye, who of course is playing into an off-roll pick, is not used to going in with pots and Hunter's Machete. Usually on a Mundo, you're going to have a more defensive loadout. You're going to have something like a Doran's Shield, and you're going to be able to absorb a little bit more damage than you'd expect to with a jungler loadout. So I think that he's playing more to his strengths and what would feel comfortable as a top laner.
Now as we see that, we see a gank coming in from Hawkgate. Bad. Forcing the flash out of Tamed. Nice little gank. Blood Sand is actually very low in this lane right here. Staying for a very long time. MMY doesn't have the cooldowns, and that's a nice little flash. Nice kill with the chained auto attacks.
That's the thing. Even when you're 2 levels up on a Renekton, if you're Jax early on, you're pretty squishy, and Renekton can burst you down quickly.
This is Rampage. I don't have much else to say. I can just explain all my thought process with the fact that this is, Rampage. We already have 5 kills, 5 minutes in, a kill per minute.
Yep.
My goodness.
Interesting thing I'd like to highlight here. Thresh going for the Ancient Coin loadout rather than the more aggressive Relic Shield seems to be really reflective of the threat that Nami can pose in a kill lane scenario, and also the fact that Ezreal really might just want to sit back and farm, play a more passive lane.
Definitely. It's just... yeah, it's kind of a little bit of team disconnection here. Benem goes for the hook, does not hits, and Hawkgate comes in for a flank, but there's no cooldowns up for Benab. Tie-Dye is also here. Exonotic is very low, has no mana as well. This is not going to be good for Order 66. Hasn't used any summer spells yet. Might be forced soon. Flay comes in, just get a little bit of poke back, and nothing happens.
This is something happening all over the map.
Yeah,
the players on the side, on the side of Order 66 are not respecting the threats.
That's just no words in River. Tame just walked down for free, gets a free kill, and now he can just walk away because it's a Tarek. His damage is kind of sad.
Like we were talking about earlier, Tamed is an excellent macro player. He's got a real keen eye for
now Tie-Dye once again is in that position where he doesn't expect his health to be so low. Gets ignited. Will probably take down to his death. Tame doing what he can, but he can't knock up the silence. Blaze Sand goes in. That is so close right there in top lane. And Jack's counter strike is such a clutch ability. Tame actually goes very low here. Now only when play Thresh doesn't have any mana anymore. It doesn't matter. As Not Yet Saint tries to get the kill on Exonotic. Managed to get it with a bubble. Now might get killed himself by only play Thresh. Can't get in range. Both of them meanwhile just free firing on the backline. Uses a heal. Doesn't actually hit Not Yet Saints, but Not Yet Saint can heal himself anyways, and gives a double kill over to Twitch. I don't know who that was in favor of because...
absolutely bloody Fiesta,
honestly,
but I would be inclined to say that that was in favor of Team Feed the Dream. the gold went the right places. Tarek, the whole point of running Tarek
is in a bad position right now. Actually, dies to Hotgate Dad.
Okay, until that moment, that was in favor of Feed the Dream. Now it feels a little more even. Because the thing is, Tarek picking up 2 kills is not what you want to see when you're running this kind of composition. The whole point of running Tarek mid is you want to funnel gold into the carries. And that's not what happened in that team fight.
That's not what's happening this whole game. Look at that. He actually is keeping even in CS.
That's not what you want to see. Graves should have a much bigger lead here if you're investing in that kind of gold funneling comp.
Now, I'm going to go into a slightly educational rant here about this use of Tarek by O66.
I love learning and I love rant. Let's go.
Now, this rise of the Tarek mid lane, the support mid lane, carry jungle idea came from the fact that, or vice versa, support jungle carry mid lane, came from the fact that, you know, with the recent changes, as I say, that Nami gets hooked and she ends up dying, there are no summoner spells left. Back to ranked. Comes from the fact that mid lanes had gotten nerfed to a point where kill pressure was low enough, and jungle pressure and snowball pressure from jungle was high enough that it was actually worth it to... Oh, and Taide actually gets caught out here, gets his ultimate. I don't know just in time where he decided to clutch it right there, but managed to live.
Yep. Very clever use there. I mean, we're kind of getting to the point that the sense for the power spikes is going to level out a little bit.
He doesn't have the ultimate. Tame doesn't have flash, however. Gets a knockup, but is stunned up by the Tarek, and it will just end up dying. Now, while they're not playing the composition correctly, they are playing well against FTD with Tarek's strengths in early game.
Again, Bloody Sand failing to respect Renekton's burst.
I'm gonna stop analyzing this top lane because it's just back and forth, non-stop. It's something.
I would not be surprised. Like, I like what I'm seeing here. I like Renekton choosing to roam down because Renekton can fall off pretty hard, a lot harder than Jax to be certain. So Renekton should take every moment of advantage that he has and use it, whether that means taking the tower at top or roaming down mid.
Anyways, I think we're gonna be in a bit of lull here, so I can go back to my rants.
Go ahead.
The reason why Tarek is picked in this sort of role is because he is perhaps the perfect champion for this sort of, for his ratio of low income to high utility sort of thing. Due to his passive, he has, for some reason, an incredibly fast clear time, especially in jungle when you have a Graves to help out. So he can clear camps, clear waves that much faster, which allows you to clear the camp, get the mid lane wave, clear another camp, get the mid lane wave, not miss a single minion, and have that gold funnel into your carry jungler, aka Graves. And I was saying how Tarek is, his ratio of low income to high utility is like higher than almost every single champion in the game. However, when your income gets increased as Tarek, his utility doesn't go up that much higher. Taide gets caught out here. He does have that sadism, so it should be fine. But deciding not to flash out, gets extremely low flash out at the very last possible moment. Taide taking a very low bit, tanks up the collateral damage as well.
That is the second time in a row we have seen tie-dye on Dr. Mundo fully tanking a Graves ultimate with his own masochism ultimate.
Yeah. Now that's what you can do once you actually have an MMY gets another kill. This is okay. Now this back and forth seems to be in favor of MMY. Now Dragon almost gets stolen, except Cho'Gath actually managed to feast it at the very last moment. Ooh.
Taking that dragon, as back and forth as this game has been, taking that dragon is exactly the kind of incremental advantage we're going to want to see FTD slowly pulling out.
It's bloody, but it's a game of inches. Now, I think Taide is actually getting his footing right now. In the early game, he had a couple of hiccups, aka the 2 deaths. But those were times before he finished his Cinderhulk, before he got that cloth armor in his inventory. And he just had his base health as Mundo. That's not what Mundo's strength is. Now that he has some health underneath his belt, you can see exactly why Mundo is such a powerful champion in this meta. And he can just tank up these turrets that seemingly do no damage.
I mean, in a meta right now where games are more fast-paced than they've been in a long time, games are ending by 25 minutes.
Guys, Blazen, man, this turns out when you feed that many kills to a Jax, he can kill the rest of your team.
Imagine that. Oh my god, just got out-smited by Hot Gay Dad on Graves with the smite.
Ooh. Tide forced to flash away. I'm guessing he's doesn't have sadism actually, but seems like Hot Gay Dad doesn't know that. Doesn't have the collateral damage anyway, so ignore my ranting.
It's alright.
Alright, teleport coming in.
As I was saying, when games are won this quickly, it is of enormous advantage to have a champion in your comp like Mundo, who is tanky so early on.
No, the thing is, games are snowballing when teams can get a lead and know how to not hemorrhage afterwards. Neither team has really shown that. Both teams have been able to make picks, get leads, as what might happen right here. Jax, however, has shown in the bot lane, so it might not be... Right, both of them actually is free hitting, but he's a little bit too far up. Forced to flash out. Tidal Wave hits the Neb, and now this Jax is a little bit too far up. He doesn't do as much damage as he thought. Great little Call the Meek to take down the health bars of everybody. Flash Exhaust, trying to take down Exhaust. Arcane shifts out after the flash, and it'll be a simple 2 for 0.
What we just saw there was a crucial failure of communication. Basically, as soon as Not Yet a Saint came in with that flank, there was a very clear decision from Exonautic and Bloody Sand to pull out. And Benib didn't. Benib stayed way too long. And then even Bloody Sand was in just a little bit too long, kind of indecisive about whether he was going to pull out of that team fight or not. And that indecision, that spread the members of Order 66 that were present, and FTD was able to just pick them apart.
Yeah, that indecision came from the fact that he thought he was ahead enough since he managed to kill Cho'Gath by himself, right? When you know, when you kill Cho'Gath by yourself, you can think to yourself, hey, I do damage. But he has a Triforce, he does damage, he doesn't have tank stats.
There's solo killing Cho'Gath damage, and then there's killing Mundo damage.
Yeah, killing Mundo with the Nami healing up. Now he's going in for a tame to see if he can recreate his miracle beforehand. Well, most likely, except a perfect bubble. Not Yet a Saints.
I want to give the biggest kudos to Not Yet a Saint with these amazing Nami bubbles.
And to knock him now, Tide wants to go in.
So far.
Has the sadism, decides to not use it for a speed up. Oh, and a great counter strike. Stops the stun from the... Oh, one last cleaver.
There's that mechanical mastery right there. A gorgeous infected cleaver coming out from Tie-Dye.
It just shows how much this team can run you down. You know, you got the Nami bubble into the...
You know, I think that's the first bubble that I've seen Not Yet a Saint miss on Nami all game.
Yeah, he's just hit phenomenal bubbles at this point. Still, I wouldn't say FTD is just out of the woods yet. Order 66's comp is... if no better way to say it, annoying to siege against. You have the Taric, you have the Jax, you have the Thresh. It's now there is a lack of wave clear, which might be FTD's biggest boon here, that they can just push down the turret and before Order 66 can clear it. But that's all they can do, you know. What if FTD get too far ahead? However much disengage Order 66 have, they just get, you know, run over by this Mundo that can't die, and this Twitch that does a ton of damage. The Twitch that just gets jumped on by everything that is dying. Ignore what I keep every single time I say
that
something.
might be the crack in the armor that they needed.
And that will be first turret over to Order 66. Nice little sum of gold, brings the gold lead up to 1,000. But if we factor in the dragon, you know,
it's really easy. I can understand it's really easy for
every single time
when you're on Twitch. Oh wow,
that is a poor bubble that missed a nice little cleaver, returns the kill, but that might be in a bad position here. MMY is rotating down, so they can get kill on the turret if they so choose. Pops that Cosmic Radiance, but perhaps too early, and it doesn't matter because these two just chase you down non-stop. Nice dazzling Dazzle? I think it's just called Dazzle.
Oh, MMY wants it though.
MMY does want it. He is extremely tanky, but he can't close the distance, and especially if it does, the Dazzle's there.
Beautiful burst coming out from
nice
MMY
little
there.
burst, and actually finishes out.
Yep, they got too greedy. Order 66 got way too greedy there. I think probably baiting out a fight on Rift Herald might have been a better move than trying to straight take it. They were just spread too far over the map. They were trying to do too much at the same time.
Oh, O66 wants to challenge Rift Herald. It is 4v2. FTD should back off of this as fast as they can, and 3 of them are over the wall already. They want to kill, not the Rift Herald, forcing the flash out of tie-dye. The
kind of a sad and pathetic amount of damage coming out from that Ezreal ult.
Yeah, definitely. Against the 2 bigger tanks. A 6-4-3 Renekton and a 3-2-2 Mundo.
I would not be surprised, honestly, to see a Dragon take and then Rift Herald used very, very soon here. Either on the mid lane or the bot lane.
Now that is another Infernal Dragon, so that's a ton more damage for this strong tank lineup. Tank that just died. MMY will soon follow up by Bloody Sand, and now Tsunami is... FTD is falling apart at the seams, piece by piece. They're not... They're just getting picked apart one by one at this point.
However, in the midst of all that, they did catch another Infernal Drake. They're sitting on double Infernal Drakes right now. That is going to be pretty brutal in the late game.
I don't think they know that... No, they know that Tame doesn't have his ultimate. Now, Bennett gets knocked up, he's just gonna die. Twitch comes out. Surprise. Alright, a little bit of low here. Let's take a look at the gold now. Now, the gold is kind of lopsided due to how much fighting and skirmishing there has been in the top side of the map, and also due to a, how do I say, a lack of farming. The gold is very top heavy. You know, Jax with 7 kills is leading in the gold charts, almost 1,000 gold over his lane opponent. Everywhere else, it's a lot more even. Everybody within a few hundred gold. Because Jax is about to get ganked on. Counter-Strike getting a lot of time for him. MMY actually taking very low. Forced to pop that's Dominus. Actually ends up dying. Tame finished the kill with a feast. That's too low, too late. Still gets a trade kill, and that's the best Bloody Sand could hope for.
Very, very sharp move from Tamed there. I kind of feel like they could have gotten the kill still if tie-dye had backed off a little bit there. But Tamed getting the kill there with the feast is really nice, because at this point, Tamed is sitting on 5 stacks of feast, and only one of them was from a regular minion.
Oh, so that's minimum 10 stacks right there.
He will be able to scale very, very rapidly here.
Oh, definitely. Now, this is something I want to point out. Jax does not have boots or anything other than power items at this point. I don't know if this is the correct thing, but it's working out for him so far.
It's intriguing to note that even though Taric, because of how farmed he is, feels very, very beefy and kind of semi-tanky right now, and the same could be said for Thresh, they haven't built health. They've built resistances, and that's going to make them very, very susceptible to Cho'Gath ultis, to those feasts coming down from Tamed, which of course deal true damage.
O66 might want claps on this. They are putting down the Rift Herald as a deterrent to the Baron, and that tidal wave came down just a second too late.
I feel like it wasn't the most effective deterrent, though, because they placed it so far up the river. It has to walk so far to get there. If you're setting up a deterrent to Baron, I feel like you want something that's going to be a distraction right now.
Definitely, and they don't have damage for Baron right now, even if they did. Nice little knockoff for damage, but they have to group up.
MMY with that split push up down at bottom.
Yeah. Oh, here comes Cosmic Radiance. They want to engage here, and FTD smartly back off. Not great.
Beautiful rupture coming down from Tame.
Oh, these ruptures and the bubbles just keep on coming. Now with the Cosmic Radiance down, this is their best chance right now if they want to fight. They need both of them to fire off, and here he is firing off. That is everybody on O66 going really low, but not dead. Here comes the Jax, the Fed Jax. Goes in, goes out, doing what he can, and both of them flashes in, trying to do what he can with the damage, but then finally ends up dying to that Twitch. Everybody else managed to peel away from the fight, just as MMY gets in.
Bloody Sand made the same mistake he's been making time and time again all game long. He is not respecting the other team. He thinks he can go in and solo 1v5. And honestly, I'll be frank with you for a second. having a top laner that pops off and gets such a lion's share of the gold early on, then proceed to die way more than the rest of the team, I'm getting solo queue PTSD just thinking about it.
Oh no. That's not what you want here. Now this is interesting. If I'm the Tarek, I would just be taking my stuff off the Graves or the Edge of Ring. I'm just putting it all on Jax. Seems like a good idea. Right.
Interesting, Tarek opting to invest in the Ardent sensor here. Of course, traditionally a much more marksman favored item, which of course can help Jax, who is
like it though.
A melee attacker. But I mean, is it the best choice right now? Tarek so far, he's 2 items in.
They jump on him tamed and he gets stunned up. Turtle Wave comes down for a disengage and it's enough. Flash out from Tame, not yet saying uses the blast cone to get out. Good disengage.
As I was saying, Tarek is 2 items in. It's a locket and an Ardent sensor. 2 items that have kind of gotten gutted in the last few patches.
Now, if the item wasn't good, though, I do like the Ardent sensor pickup. There is a distinct lack of magic damage on the side of O66, plus attack speed can be used by every single carry. Now, Blaze Sand...
Yet again, look at what Bloody Sand is doing.
He just can't do this thing. He can't do it. Naya Saints peels away. Even if Naya Saint ended up dying there, I would trade the Jax for Nami any day of the week. Tame goes in, slows down Hardgate Dad, and that is a nice little redemption, healing everybody back up. I'd only play Thresh, puts down Cosmic Radiance, but it's too little too late. It just delays his death, delays the inevitable. And now FTD, they can just keep on pushing here.
I think by and large there are stronger individual players on the side of Order 66, but the communication and the coordination is just not there. You've got Bloody Sand constantly running in and dying.
He wants to go in. He wants to get the kill on Hockey down. He might just do it. And Y comes in, secures the kill. Thank you very much. Onto the true carry of FTD.
There's no cohesion whatsoever.
No. Exonautics extremely low. Blaze Sand cannot challenge this, even if Manev comes up. Just too many members. And they know it. FTD are rotating to Dragon, a very smart choice. Mountain Dragon will do wonders for their team.
Now, all of a sudden, the game is looking a lot better for Feed the Dream. It is over 3k gold advantage in their favor. 2 dragons, even in turrets. They're doing pretty well.
They have to peel off this dragon now.
3 dragons
gets
now.
Bursted down, and Raid's counter-strike from Blaze Sand, stunning up 3 people, does not stop everybody enough to keep himself from dying, but Nev gets rat-tatted down, and great flash just in the nick of time, gets him out. But
when you have gotten this much of your team's gold poured into you, the way Bloody Sand has on this Jax, you do not want to take a trade where you're dying to get the enemy support.
This is Jax we're talking about, right?
Yes.
Historically, the champion that can do the most damage was the least amount of damage items, correct? Yeah, he decides to opt in into 2 pure damage items, what I'm assuming is going to become a Bork with no boots and no defensive items. Extremely squishy. He is like, he's like an AD carry that goes in, and unlike Master Yi or Tryndamere, he can actually end up dying really easily.
He really is. He really is the epitome of the solo queue hyper carry.
Yeah. Okay, no, not Bork. Rageblade, rather. Probably the better choice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's...
Ooh, Tame with a cute little sidestep there, but does not have flash. She's just gonna get run down by the counter-strike, and...
not yet a Saint with that not quite correct positioning on the redemption.
So that just shows how much damage Blaze can do when he doesn't get caught out.
Yep. That's the thing. I mean, he's sitting on Trinity Force. He's sitting on Gunblade, and probably gonna pick up the Rage Blade next, like you said.
Now they're setting up Baron.
He can deal a lot of damage, but he needs his team to enable him.
And if we look at this, FTD, they don't know about this. They have no vision on the Baron or in the river. They're just gonna slowly get this down. Yeah, the Baron's only at half health, but FTD have no idea this is happening. They're still...
FTD must suspect, though.
They must, but it's too low, too late. Baron's down below 1k and Smite. Is enough to
That
just
is
take down.
unfortunate.
It's a free Baron. Yeah, FTD have some challenges to go through. Order 66 have their life breathed back into them again. You know, put some breath in them. I have a feeling that what happens in this game comes down to next team fights. Now, it's up to FTD if they want to take this team fight during Baron. Of course, Order 66 will be forcing it as much as they can. Get that mid lane tower that they've been sieging on for so long. Outer top lane's still up, by the way. On the side of FTD.
Yep. I think that if Order 66 gives FTD an opening the way they've been giving them openings, FTD should absolutely take the fight. I think that if there's the opportunity to catch Jax off guard, if there's the opportunity to catch Thresh out again, obviously they need to take it. Definitely. Like right now, for instance, Bloody Sand splitting off, trying for a flank.
Yeah, he's trying. Hopefully he doesn't go in too far. He needs that turret to keep him alive with that Cosmic Radiance. That's no other way. And that's the thing, FTD have good wave clear. They're doing a good job
with the exception of Ezreal, all ults are up.
Ezreal ult comes up fast enough. All ults are up. Almost all summer spells are up. This is going to be a bloody team fight. Now, if Order 66 wins this fight right here, they win the game. FTD have a longer road. Siege is coming down, but Siege can't really do much when there's enough wave clear. They're just chipping away this turret. I don't even know if it'll go down by the time the Baron buff wears off. And here comes the engage. Jumped onto MMY before he can even pop the Dominus. A great tidal wave counteracted by the Cosmic Radiance, and here comes the damage. But now everybody doesn't have Cosmic Radiance. Everybody's getting melted down by both of them. Double kill. Kill for Tame. Another kill on Hawkeye down. Not soon enough. Flashed out from the Rupture by Exonotic. The Twitch was ignored, and therefore...
Yep, that was a little bit of a roller coaster to watch there. It looked very bad for FTD at first, as MMY on the Renekton overestimated the window that kind of opened up when Tamed hit that Rupture onto 3 members of Order 66. But the problem is that Order 66 did not capitalize on that. They managed to bring down MMY, but then Twitch popped ultimate. You've got Runon's Hurricane, massive amounts of damage getting poured out. And at the end of the day, that shredding is going to be a little too much to deal with.
Yeah, for sure. They used everything already to take down MY and to attempt to take down Tie-Dye. And those are tanks. You don't want to use that on them. You know, they're the two people that can actually get onto Twitch, the Jax and kind of the Thresh.
I only play Thresh. Landed a really great ultimate.
Oh, that is true.
But they didn't use that time. They had time and they did not use it.
Yeah. And both of them actually held off on his spray and pray until the Turek ultimate wore off.
Beautiful, beautiful timing from both of them there.
Definitely. Huggy died getting forced out of his own jungle. The next dragon, final dragon, will be coming up in just 10 seconds as FTD finish the... Oh, not quite yet finished the inner ring of turrets. Top lane turrets still surviving with just a sliver of health. As a group of dragon, and this will be 4 dragons.
I don't think there's really too much that can be done here by Order 66 to contest this second Mountain Drake. But it looks like Bloody Sand is going to try anyway. How much you want to bet he goes down again?
I will take that bet. And he wisely backs off when there's no team behind him. I believe... Did Ezreal start channeling that after Dragon got taken down? That was a very late Ezreal ultimate. Only Flames Thresh forced the flash out. Here comes the Cosmic Radiance. Counteracted by the Tidal Wave, keeping them still. MMY gets taken down really out, but now both of them gets jumped on. He managed to stay alive with great kiting right there. Gets a double kill, and that is Twitch alive with a Jax dead. Nothing can jump on this Twitch anymore. FTD are free to push however they like. You know, Sansa Graves wave clear. Teddy still has the ultimate, remember. He can just ult tank up. Twitch is alive. He's free firing back and doesn't have Rat-a-tat-tat, doesn't need Rat-a-tat-tat.
They need to get out of there.
By the Twitch. Oh, everybody on side of FTD somehow just managed to go into blinking health bars. Didn't even notice. Meanwhile, Mundo just doing Mundo things.
it's a heartbreaking moment as an ADC to realize that you don't have the damage or the utility to get in there and get that last little chunk of health.
Oh. That Jax did not start off with a stopwatch. He bought that. His next item will be a Guardian Angel. Still no boots or tank items, by the way.
I really do feel that this is a colossal mistake.
Definitely. You saw how much damage Bloody Sand was able to pour out during those few seconds that Cosmic Radiance granted him. He almost killed MMY by himself.
Like, it's fine to put Bloody Sand on a carry top. Obviously, he's got the mechanical chops for it. But what I'm saying is that either Order 66 doesn't have a shot caller, or Bloody Sand just isn't listening to him.
Graves just bought an Infinity Edge. Without a crit item.
Okay.
Okay.
See, here's the thing. We talked at the beginning of the game about how great it is to have that solid core of a team that stays together, and how FTD still has that even though they lost a player due to smurfing allegations.
Yeah, of course.
And this is being borne out right now in real time. There is so much experience and cohesion that is being brought to this game by FTD that Order 66 just, if they have, they're not demonstrating it.
Definitely. Now both teams had their weaknesses in this game, but as you can see here, FTD is able to bounce back properly. You know, they managed to go down, but they managed to stand back up again. Now, outside of Order 66, they have gone back up a few times, but it just seems like they get weaker and weaker each time. You know, it's just communication is breaking down more and more every single time we see them fight.
Already a 6k gold lead.
Yeah, now this is a second Baron. This is a very important one.
If FTD gets this one, I don't really know that there's
the two tanks are going a little bit too far. They tunneled hard onto Hockey. Dad don't manage to get him taken down. Now two tanks are a little bit too far up. Now he still hasn't popped the Sadism with ease. That's a tank Mundo without even using his ultimate. Let's be honest here. Now Twitch is finally exposed and onto backside. Bloody Sand actually managed to take him down within that few seconds that he needed to. Goes in stopwatch form. Now this might just turn around since the Jax is still alive. That is the carry you can keep alive. Managed to get taken down finally by the undying Mundo. And now the fight is turning on the side of FTD. They can't push off this even if they do win without that Twitch, but they are winning the fight piece by piece, forcing a flash out Baneb. Now they have won the fight, but how much can they get off of this? They can't get the Baron. 3 members on the side of Order 66 are down, so they are able to get the turrets. But how much more can they really push?
They potentially had everything they needed there. But the thing that's missing right now is tank shredding. Because it's all well and good if you can get Twitch down. If you can catch him out and take him down. But the fact of the matter is that FTD's team comp has now advanced to the point that their tanks also deal massive amounts of damage.
Oh, definitely.
So you can't just afford to just focus the squishies.
MMY and Tie-Dye went in head first. 2 members charging into like 4 members, right? At the end of this, MMY 90% health, Tie-Dye 100% health. Mundo Ultimate already back up. You just don't have the damage anymore. And then goes in. Both of them finally gets the last hit. Hockey Dad not able to, ends up getting taken down. However, Twitch is still alive. Twitch is barely keeping himself alive. Exotic almost taking him down, and now comes the Jax. This might be the second he needs to take down both of them. Doesn't go onto Twitch, ends up getting taken down by Baneb instead, and now the Jax finally goes down. The Cosmic Radiance comes down onto 2 members, but these are supports. Let's see. Okay, give me just. Why are they fighting? Just give me a second to breathe there. What am I watching? The Thresh and Tarek are out of mana. Tade will end up taking them down, forcing a flash out of Tarek, but
Oh my.
You know, Tarek and Thresh could have won that if they actually had mana left, but they didn't. It's like, Mundo doesn't need anything but his health, and his health is regenerating like, you know, a rocket
this
right now.
Might... Honestly, just Tie-Dye surviving might have been enough to secure them the win at this point. Because now that is a Mundo with Baron buff, he's going to be able to lead every siege. He can lead pushes into the lanes that still have inhibitors up. I don't see too many ways that Order 66 can come back.
Mundo honestly can't die at this point. He's become the carry 8-3 and 15 right now. Oh, once again has the ultimate up. He never has the back again either. One weird little thing, I kind of want to see Cho'Gath by a Warmogs. Just personal nitpicky thing. I think it'll just really net them into this super mega tank position that's Blizzard can't cut through anymore.
FTD, of course, about to cross the 10k threshold in terms of their gold lead.
Now this is double mountain, double inferno, Baron, Elder
They're
Dragon.
going to liquefy these turrets.
Definitely. That does 30% bonus true damage to turrets, 24% bonus damage on top of that. They're just sieging something. That is the MVP Mundo with the Baron buff right there. Gets hooked in, but doesn't really matter. He still has the ultimate, doesn't really pop it. Now that is a great Cosmic Radiance on the 4 members. But this might be a fight they need. Bloody Ratio doing what he can, but both of them stays alive. Free Fire and backline. This happens once, happens again. Everybody managed to die. Triple kill for the Cho'Gath. Twitch actually didn't get any kills there, and this will be the game for the side of FTD.
Beautiful Cosmic Radiance, but honestly,
threats.
It doesn't really amount to much if you aren't waiting until you have a clear line on Twitch to use it. Because all he's going to do is he's going to sit and he's going to wait for Cosmic Radiance to come out, and then he's going to use Spray and Pray.
Definitely. Now, I said I wanted to see Tame to get that Warmog so he can go into true super mega tank, right? He didn't have Warmogs. Yep. MMOI doesn't have a Warmogs. Tide, of course, has his ultimates. They still come out of that with full health. They can't kill anybody, even if they try to.
Interestingly enough, Bloody Sand did come out with by far the most damage in the game.
Oh, that's
right. But like, I really do feel that this was the ultimate top lane hyper carry fail, where you do really well in early game, but then you get overconfident and keep running in trying to 1v5.
We can just think of what could have been if Order 66 Bloody Sand actually built correctly. He had all the damage he needed. What if he had built more tanky stats? What if he built like a Maw or a... What's the name of the other item? What if he had like... Sterex Gauge doesn't have the synergy with Triforce anymore, but it still has that...
It's still good. Yeah. It's still anti-burst.
What if he had Lifesteal? What if he had something that kept him alive is the thing I'm getting at here.
Honestly, even if he built exactly how he built, what if he stayed with his team and actually made sure that he had backup?
That's a good point, too.
It does look like we're going to get pretty much straight into the next game. The next game draft. Okay, what, if anything, needs to be different?
We saw Tame strengths coming out towards late game, right? So no matter how bad that early game was, which it had its rope bumps, kills being traded instead of being secured, they managed to rotate that well because they know how to convert kills when they don't end up dying as well, So Feed the Dream have that late game and mid game to late game transition that you want on a team that cohesion. So what they need to work on is that early game. That's a way for them to get to that mid game, late game, that snowball without, hitting those road bumps. Or the 66 completely opposite. They have that early game. They just need to be able to transition that properly.
Yeah. I think Tarek actually is a really, really good cornerstone for their comp. I think this works for them. They really do just need to... they need to get Bloody Sand under control.
Yeah. He does... he did what he needed to do as a Jax. He did the damage he got onto carry. He did that well, but he couldn't do anything beyond that. And sometimes if Feed the Dream did properly, he couldn't even do that. So, yeah, he had a great support system too. He had a Thresh, he had a fed Tarek that actually got almost perfect cosmic radiances every single time.
Yeah, he just didn't wait for them,
He had to
though. He
reciprocate them.
tunneled every time.
Alright. Now, as we wait for the teams to start the second game, how about the draft? Would you say the team comps could have been executed? Different team comps, rather.
Honestly, from the side of FTD, everything worked. I mean, there is no element of the composition that I would have really wanted to see differently because it all worked. Renekton and Dr. Mundo getting in there being tanks, Renekton providing that nice early burst, Tamed playing Cho'Gath to perfection. Twitch obviously was just the cornerstone of a lot of those team fights.
Oh, yes.
You know, bringing out those perfectly timed spray and praise. And Nami, more toward the early game, but even toward the end, with the amazing bubble.
Yeah, all our spells, honestly.
Just excellent, excellent play. Now, if we go over onto Order 66, I feel like they had the makings of a good comp there. The problem was that they didn't actually execute it properly. They really needed to be funneling their gold properly instead of having Tarek end up with all of the kills and so much of the CS. They really needed, and again, I can't say this enough, they really needed Bloody Sand to work with the team a little more closely.
I still haven't completely gotten my Tarek rant out of the way yet. It's just tugging at me so much that Graves could have been so much more, but he couldn't, because that strategy is a very difficult one to execute. That's why you don't actually see it in the lower elos. Mm-hmm. That's why you still see marksmen being relevant and regular mages being relevant. You only really see it in the higher elos of solo queue and pro games. So I don't actually have 100% expect them to execute it correctly, but I did expect them to sort of know what they're doing, and they just played it like Tarek was a regular laner and Graves was a regular jungler. That's not how that comp works.
Yeah. I would expect to see probably a Cho'Gath ban coming in, at the least. Wouldn't be surprised to also see Dr. Mundo and Twitch getting taken off the table.
I might see Nami. I actually want to say that personally for me, low side note, if Order 66 won that place and would have been my MVP by... Actually, no, maybe I only play Thresh for those tier codes, but since FTD won, I think my MVP for that was Not Yet a Saint. It's so easy to give MVPs over to the ones that you see doing the damage, that you see making the huge plays, but Not Yet a Saint was just that sort of quiet one, keeping FTD barely alive when they needed to, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So many things could have gone wrong if he wasn't there.
But it worked.
It did work. Just barely, but it worked.
Looks like we're having some delays getting into the draft here. But hopefully we'll be able to get it up and running for too long.
Yeah.
The thing that really concerns me about Game 2 and FTD is that maybe they will recognize his discomfort with the jungle role, and Order 66 will throw out a Dr. Mundo ban, try to force him off of his comfortable picks. Because I think one of the worst things that could happen for Tie-Dye and for FTD at this point is for him to be forced to play a jungler that is not also in his top lane wheelhouse.
Now, this is something a little bit different. This is something I know from personal interactions. His strongest jungler is actually Rammus. Now, Rammus isn't exactly in the meta anymore, but his most games played on any champion and solo queue, I believe, is Rammus. And Rammus wasn't actually banned in the first round. I don't even know if Order 66 was aware of that. So, if they actually get a good setup for Rammus, he can easily pull that out.
Mm-hmm.
But we'll see once we get into Champion Select here. As first ban goes to the side of Order 66, now on the blue side. They are discussing right now.
Twitch
and
ban.
There's that Twitch, like you said. They don't want to see a hyper carry like that. Although I wouldn't say Twitch was the main problem. He was sort of the...
See, I don't know how I feel about Jax getting banned. Maybe it works as a concession. Maybe MMY didn't feel comfortable in lane against Jax, but honestly, Bloody Sand... I don't know. I don't know that Jax ended up being that problem.
Now we return to the same bans as the first game. Kaisa being the hyper carry and Mazhar being a comfort pick of tanks.
Yep.
So, and they decide to go with Renekton. I don't know if Renekton was a problem there. He is a strong laner, and maybe that's what Blaze Sands doesn't want. As we saw on Jax, Blaze Sands was a good laner. And Renekton's probably one of the best laning champions there is in top lane. And how easy it is to bully any other champion in the lane right now.
Yeah.
And so maybe they want to get Blaze Sands in a position where he can do that scaling up without a Renekton to deal with.
Yeah.
And I want to see FTD just miss a ban.
I'm not sure if that's a missed ban or a placeholder.
Now, I don't believe they do miss a ban due to loss of ban of substitution rule, since they did ban out 5 champions in the first game.
Ban was Pyke.
Yeah. Right. So the ban was indeed Pyke. First pick Mundo for side Order 66. See if they play top lane or jungle.
That is interesting. Bloody Sand has played Dr. Mundo this split a little bit, and it has worked.
Carry. Maybe it's just what Blaze Sands does on Jax. Maybe he's a carry player, but no.
You see the Lucian Nami bot lane snapped right up in their first 2 picks by Feed the Dream.
I like that. Lucian's very strong right now.
Yep. Obviously, we just saw Not Yet a Saint play a really strong game on Nami, and Bofom's Lucian is a strong pick. We do see Jhin. We see Thresh making a resurgence from Beneb.
Yeah.
Actually, interesting thing to note here from Order 66 support Beneb. Beneb so far this split has only played two champions.
Oh my.
Thresh and Soraka.
Those are slightly different champions, so to speak.
Yes, they are. Oh boy, Cho'Gath got his guy again.
Yep.
See the Galio ban coming down.
Same as first time.
Yep.
Now, the thing with the Thresh Jhin pick is Thresh pick seems to work. The problem is I don't know if Jhin can follow up the same way Ezreal was able to follow up in lane when Thresh was able to get those picks. Jhin has his moments of power, also notably which are slightly higher now that Storm Razors works properly with him.
Now, I'm not sure why Vel'Koz was banned for Order 66. Because Vel'Koz, of course, usually is either a mid laner or a support pick, and Feed the Dream, unless I'm mistaken, has picked both of those.
They have picked both of those. I don't believe that they will pick the Cho'Gath top, tame.
Unless Order 66 is worried that Feed the Dream is intending indeed to run Cho'Gath in the jungle or the top lane. But honestly, after seeing Tamed do that well with him in the mid lane, why would they?
Yeah, I don't see that. MMY can. I think they'd rather just keep the flex open for MMY, even if FTD were to pick a million. I don't think it would be Vel'Koz on this sort team.
And I'm guessing that this also will be a placeholder ban, but I'm not sure what it will be. Warwick getting picked up.
Ooh, now that is actually his second most played jungler, by the way.
Oh, this could be good. Oh, the Master Yi coming down.
Ooh, Master Yi coming down.
Notice Taric is still open.
Now it's a little bit easier to work with Master Yi than Graves, of course. We have to see if they can execute it properly this time. Master Yi scales up a hell of a lot faster than Graves can. Like, as soon as he hits level 6 and gets his Blood Razor, that's like he's ready, Picks up the Anivia instead.
Mid lane.
I feel like Order 66, like, is it just me or do I get a feeling of them sort of blindly following meta?
I kind of get that feeling too. And Shen will be the final pick,
Yeah.
top laner for Feed the Dream.
Shen will be a final pick indeed.
I like this. I mean, with Warwick and his Bloodhunt, Shen and his ultimate, you have a lot of ability to move around the map very quickly.
Oh, definitely.
This should be really, really interesting, especially given FTD's proven strength in macro and shot calling.
Now, my one qualm with this comp is that their main source of damage by and far and away is the Lucian, who is not the most hyper of carries. You know, they have to win that early game, of course, which is what Warwick is there for.
They have to win the early game,
of course,
and
is there for.
more to the point, bot lane has to win their lane.
Definitely. On the other hand, Order 66, they cannot scale any harder than this comp, to be honest.
Yeah.
Now, as we go
definitely a massive amount of scaling there.
Yeah. So, across all this, we don't have a single lane that has been played. Again, Thresh and Nami is about as close as we can get, but with completely different AD carries, so it doesn't really matter. So this game will be completely different from the first one, no matter how you paint it.
I have concerns about Tamed playing Cho'Gath into Anivia.
Oh, that is
where Tamed is an excellent macro player, an excellent shot caller, but does, by his own admission, struggle a little bit mechanically compared to a lot of the other players in the league. And Anivia has so many different ways to
kill you,
to just wreck your day.
Yeah.
I feel like if there's strong coordination between Anivia in the mid lane and Master Yi in the jungle, Cho'Gath could be in a lot of trouble.
Definitely. Then again, it would make sense now, wouldn't it? Since Anivia was the last pickup for Order 66 into the Cho'Gath, they want to just keep Tamed from, having an easy lane.
Mm-hmm.
And looking at this, it's hard to see a lane where FTD wins completely outright. It's really up to this Warwick in order to create pressure where he can.
The Corki ban is interesting there, because Order 66, their ADC has played Corki. I only play Thresh has not played Corki in the mid lane. Corki, of course, is arguably a very weak ADC these days, tends to get run as a mid laner a lot more often. So the situation with Order 66 and the champion Corki is a little interesting.
Yeah, it seems like maybe it was just a sort of comfort target ban. Well, we'll never know.
But
we will head into the game soon enough, so we'll take a short break until then, but there will be a 4-minute delay, and since this is a recorded game, you can just skip right ahead. Alright, welcome back. We are soon about to start game 2 of Order 66 versus Feed the Dream. Order 66 now on blue side, as each team rolls out of the rift except for tie-dye.
I think this is actually it's actually a situation where I could see either team getting excited about the idea of an invade. And it looks like we might in fact be seeing one from Order 66. Maybe they want to execute that invade that they didn't get to do last time.
I could see it considering the Warwick has just left base. Now Tamed is a little bit far ahead. Hopefully he doesn't walk into that bush. If he does, he's a dead bug. Oh, both of them.
Ooh.
That ward is just in the nick of time, but great hook into great stun into great everything onto Tamed, and that is a dead bug still.
Beautiful wombo combo. That's exactly the kind of stuff that Order 66 is going to want to set up in this matchup, I think.
Definitely.
They've got a lot of ability combinations in their kit. You've got the Curtain Call and the Box. You've got the fact that Mundo can basically just be a walking tank and uses Cleaver to slow people down to let Yi get on top of them and catch them. There's a lot of possibilities there. With FTD, on the other hand, I think their goal is going to be to try to outmaneuver their opponents. Use their mobility advantage from Warwick, from Shen, and just try to out-macro like they did in game.
And from what we got there, they didn't even need to use summer spells, so Order 66 comes in this as strong as any team, really. And that first kills on to Yi.
On the other hand, Tamed did not use any summoner spells either.
That's
very remarkable, cool-headed thinking.
Yeah, that's about as good as you can get in that situation when you're definitely gonna die. Oh.
I'll be interested to see how MMY does here into the Dr. Mundo.
Now Tanda comes up fast and strong, only level 2, however, and did not have a point in his roar shouts. I don't know the name of that ability, but without it, you can't even force a summer spell out of Blaze Sand. Great flash taunt out there from MMI, forcing flash out of Blaze Sand, takes a turret shot, deciding whether or not to go in for the kill, decide not to, bow lands onto Exotic, great little dash from both of them, dash out, forcing the heal out of Exotic, just fighting back and forth. Hockey Dad came up to fight, but turns out he ended up coming lower than he wanted to be. However, he is level 3 versus level 2 in the Warwick.
A lot of action all over the place. It is, of course, always a little awkward to go for a level 2 gank as Warwick, because you need your Q to take your Q first for your clear. You need to take Jaws of the Beast first for your clear, and you really, really want to have Blood Hunt and your Roar up before your first gank, but you can't have your clear and your gank too if you want to level 2 gank.
Now both of them actually forced the exhaust on him as well as the flash out of Exotic. Now I would still put the victory towards the side of FTD down the bot side, but both of them still has his heal if need be.
Yeah. Ooh, we could be seeing a good fight here.
Good fight on tie-dye. Now he does have that roar here. He does roar Hockey Dad out of the channeled heal. Smites.
I'm not sure how I feel about using that smite there. I think he wanted the extra health, but it might not have been the best one.
Actually getting caught out here. The wrong position. Still has a Shadow Dash if he still wants it, and decides to use it a little bit too late in the wrong direction. And now once again, Naya Saint getting caught out, getting killed. However, Thresh got the kill onto Nami, but Lucian got the kill onto Jin, so in the end, still victory to the side of FTD in the bot lane at least. And
it's an interesting thing I want to point out here, that the exact same thing has happened with Bloody Sand.
Goes in he, with the heal, tries to get the kill, and I believe he's just an inch too short, does not have the flash.
Notice the same thing has happened here in both games between Bloody Sand and MMY, where Bloody Sand very early on has gotten a significant EXP advantage. I mean, he was 2 levels up on Shen when he happened upon him in the river.
Definitely. No.
You can definitely see, though, that FTD is setting up the the seeds for their own success here. I do think that they've got much healthier vision coverage. They've set up the Rift Scuttler there on both top and bottom sides of the river.
Yeah,
they're really looking to keep an eye on those objectives.
Blazesand is the one that got engaged on this time.
Surprisingly strong macro play from Tie-Dye for being off roll.
Definitely. No, he does know what he's doing on work, but the macro play is definitely something that you have to prepare and train for. Now, here he comes down the mid lane, a little bit slow. Hoggy-Dad is able to walk out, except the perfect rupture, forcing flash out.
Oh no, he didn't have mana for his feast!
Oh, that's just...
He would have gotten the kill.
MMY engaging on Blazesand. Blazesand doesn't have flash, but neither does MMY. He ends up dying to the minions. Oof. That's the best I can put it. It's just oof.
Ordinarily, it's fun watching bronze and silver games, but that was just heartbreaking. Both of those, all of it.
Just everywhere. I don't know why, but it feels like that song, Don't Go Breaking My Heart.
We got Tie-Dye going for it, though.
Coming down. Actually, we'll get on. Benev ends up dying, even if Tie-Dye wasn't here. Now, Exonautiq will end up dying as well. Great low gank to turn one kill into a double kill.
Double onto that Lucian is beautiful. We said that bot lane needed to win if FTD wanted this to happen, and it's happening so far.
Alright, now, looking at this.
I don't know that there's much that Hot Gay Dad can do to contest this.
Hoggy Dad cannot contest this. Just
not with Smite Up and a Cho'Gath on.
Now
Tame will get his first charge.
No matter how many hiccups that FTD go through, this game or the last game, something you cannot deny them is their dragon control. It's impeccable both games so far.
You really have to admire the strong mental that exists on the side of FTD. They don't tilt.
Definitely, just when one thing goes wrong, they look and see instead of it's interesting when you look at a league like this. Also, I only play Thresh without mana. You can't do anything as a Nebula when you're out of mana. Let's be honest.
Yeah, you can't pop your Blizzard unless you want it to go away after half a second.
One weird thing with trying to come back in a game like this is there's two ways to go about getting a comeback. When you fail at one part, you can either try to get an advantage in another place, or try to increase your strength and recuperates and balance losses you had in the first place, if you're understanding what I'm getting at here.
Yeah, and a big part of that choice is made by the jungler, deciding whether you want to try and go reinforce a losing lane or focus your efforts elsewhere.
And definitely, and he's focusing his efforts on top lane, getting
gorgeous
immense
ultimate
damage on
Tie-Dye.
Hoggy-Dad. And now, MMY might be getting a little greedy here. Doesn't really matter. Tie-Dye can do everything by himself.
That infinite duress, though,
perfectly
saved what would certainly have been a death for Shen.
And this, it's exactly what you said. This is largely up to what the jungler is doing. And this, compared to Hoggy-Dad is battling very well, but compared to Hoggy-Dad, Tie-Dye is all over the place. We saw him at first up top at a gank, and then mid for a gank, and then back up top, then back down bot for that double kill, and then back up top with that infinite duress, all in the space of 3 or 4 minutes.
And he's going back again!
He's going back in, just non-stop. Warwick also, which is up to Warwick's clear speed. Now Blazesand has the ult. Blazesand, he has flash this time, so he can always flash out, and this flash out the last crucial second. Tie-Dye decides not to chase this. Doesn't want to throw a possible lead. Ooh, that was a great maximum range hook, and forcing out the ultimates from both support, but both of them should take this. He hits Exonautiq with the full culling, forcing flash out. Not yet say gets the kill, but will end up dying to Hoggy-Dad, or will he? Perfectly timed. Tame came down with the teleport as well. We did not really see that there, but Tame can walk up. Doesn't have the feast, but hits the rupture. Now it gets hooked by Beneb. He can keep going for this. He's just insanely tanky right now. Now Warwick and back to top like Warwick Shin going on to Blazesand. FTD are making plays all over the map everywhere. You cannot ask for a better outcome. That was 3-4-0 and 2
This
sides
is
of the map.
exactly what I was talking about when I said that FTD was going to look to outmaneuver the enemy team. You've got Tie-Dye all over the place. You've got Tamed taking advantage of his teleport to get down there and shore up bot lane in a potentially dangerous moment. And now they're probably going to take first turret for their trouble.
Yeah, this is
They
snowball
might take
going
the
out of
first
control.
2 turrets here.
Definitely. It's a fight between the top lane and bot lane to see who gets first turret first. It will be a bot lane, but 2 turrets. Just look at that. And this all started from way back when Tyler got that first double kill. He won't even up dying with a perfect infinite duress there, getting another kill.
Look at that life! Look at that healing off his ultimate.
You can feel
Gorgeous.
the tilt settling for O66. Now, here comes the double gang onto only play threat. She does have mana this time, so it'll be a little bit easier to get out. He also has flash and his egg. And will get out just in time. Might even get a trade kill on Denaya's side, forcing some healing back. Now, MMY has stayed way too long. Will be forced out, or will he?
Nope.
Tide ends
Oh
up dying.
man, I thought he'd be able to go for it, but
Tide can't fight.
instead it
Mundo,
is masterful baiting.
Ooh, now this is not what you want to see. A great breath of fresh air for the side of Order 66. Blaze and getting the kills that he desperately needs to get some items under his belt.
The irony is so delicious because that's exactly what Tie-Dye did to Order 66 several times in Game 1.
Just where the hell did that health come from?
Oh, look at that.
Now I kind of want
that bot lane skirmish that went down so badly for Order 66, I think comes down to the same thing that lost them their bot lane fights early in Game 1. It's indecision. It's Hot Gay Dad and Benib 10 running around back and forth, not sure whether they're engaging or going or retreating or who to engage on. It's a big problem for Order 66.
Now I want to tell a story. Now this is the story of FTD's macro play as they try to get engaged on the bot side, misses the bubble, misses the tidal wave, misses the hook, everything is missing, so but both of them still going. He has the double BF sword, which ends up doing a lot of damage. Tide coming in, ignoring the thresh, still has the infinite, doesn't have the infinite duress.
It's almost up though.
Yeah, it's almost up, and he might look towards his he or Jin. Both are tasty targets. No, I only play Thresh is very low. Blaze Sand comes down for a little bit of return pressure. I can't even get a story in with how many fights are going on around the map. Once again, not yet. It's a bubble. What can you say that? Oh, perfectly timed Stand United, and then Jin goes in with a kill onto Blaze Sand everywhere. Kills going over FTD's wave. This go lead. Kill lead, everything is blossoming out of control. We're looking at Jin shooting bullets for some reason. Doesn't actually hit anybody, however.
Oh, that is... It feels really bad as Jin to blow Curtain Call and not do more.
And here comes more dragon control. Just keeps on going. It's non-stop for FTD right now. Oh, perfect taunt over the wall by MMY. Gets the kill onto Jin, who was standing right on top of Ward. MMY just zoning off the Thresh right now on Benev. Gets the hook.
That's gotta feel so bad for Beneb as a Thresh player. Having blown everything trying to poke at the enemy team, and then when Shen jumps on top of your ADC,
Shen
you
gets
have
another
nothing left to
taunt there.
feel.
My god. It seems FTD are just like coming together right now. MMY almost dies to turrets, but you know, calculated. What can you say? Alright, I'm gonna try to fit in a story here because it seems like FTD are
I want to
gonna
hear
reset.
it. I want to hear it.
Now this is a story of how we saw that huge play in the top lane, bot lane, culminating the 2 turrets, right? That started way back. I don't even know if FTD realized how they managed to snowball the lead. It started way back when Tide ganked mid lane along with Tame, forcing the flash out of Anivia. Anivia flashing away with a sliver of health, forcing to teleport back into the lane. Now Anivia doesn't have teleport. Tide rotates to bot lane, gets a double kill. That's just for fun. You know, get some gold, whatever. Now he goes up top lane, gets that kill with the infinite duress, double kill up in top lane, forcing Mundo to teleport back top. He's gonna get a kill on the Mundo, by the way. Forcing Mundo to teleport back up top to retrieve his farm, keep his turret alive, whatever you want. And now, as he's going back up top to get the farm, Tide on the Warwick rotates bots. Now, Mundo doesn't have teleport, Anivia doesn't have teleport, Tame has teleport, MMY has teleport, and so they didn't even need MMY for that situation. So whatever. That was a blind infinite duress.
That was gorgeous.
That was...
Although blind as that might have been, I want to point out something really special about FTD's vision right now.
Well,
How
no.
many control wards do they have up?
Okay, he has his
4.
bloodlines, but
They have 4 active control wards
4.
up.
One
When's the last
for the
time you
dragon.
saw that in a silver game?
You don't. You know, 2 for dragon control, 2 for the top lane control for the gank. They just... And they still have, what, 2 more in their inventory afterwards? They don't even give up this bot turret as both of them comes down and gets the... He might just end up getting double kill 2v1 here. Except Benab hits the perfect... Or is
Oh!
both of them had the heal, ends up taking down Exotic on the 3rd shot. Dies the Thresh box and minions. That's a little bit awkward when you pop off like
A
that.
little bit greedy.
No. I think he would have died anyway since Blaze Sand teleported down.
Yeah.
But could be on double kill. This is, you know, a little bit of...
Not bad. 1 for 1, and you get a teleport out.
Yeah, it's not
And
bad.
the turret was going to go down anyway. So, not bad as far as a delay.
Definitely. Now they're pushing up in the top lane. Yi can't stop this. He doesn't do enough damage. He just ends up dying. Pops that ultimate to look fancy.
Yep, he wants that feast.
Yeah,
He's been
wants it.
hungry for that Master Yi since minute 5, and now he finally got it.
He can just tank the turret for as long as he wants, waiting for that feast to come back up. Now, if you still remember the story, anyways, teleports down, people bot, people top, no rotation from Nivea possible. Yeah, you know. And FTD might have realized it, FTD might not have. But whatever happened, they played the macro of that perfectly, you know, with how they played the summer spells. Blaze Sand getting rotated on by 1, 2, 3, 4. There's only one word for this. It links back to my story. The rotations are out of the world right now.
Yeah, it's insane. I want to point out also, Tamed, once again, just like with last game, he has 4 stacks of Feast, and only one of them was a regular minion.
My god, this...
As you guys know, Cho'Gath's Feast can only stack on non-epic monsters and non-champions 6 times, and he's only used 1 of those.
Nice little flash out from Nami, and Jin flashes out in a very paranoid manner. So speak. Tamed is actually on the other side of the wall without flash. Great bubble from Nami to keep him alive though. Just everybody has each other's backs right now. Just ride or dying. Now Tade comes in for a backline and annihilates
the turret.
Shen, and he has the Shen ultimate on him as well. Now there's 2 tanks in the front line for FTD. Now they can just roll over from every angle. Both of them takes a turret shot. He's very low. He has to get out of here. He's not tank, yeah, as much as he wants to be. And
it has to be
just
so tilting for Order 66 having to sit and watch Bofom run away and get away with like 50 health over and over again.
And not even the fact of both of them, they cannot be safe anywhere on the map. They thought they could walk up. They can't even walk up like that. Bloody Sands ends up dying, but they can't even walk up from their own turret without Warwick jumping on them from the back line. With a Shen to keep them alive. What can you do?
I cannot believe that they were worried about tie-dye being in an off roll.
Weren't we worried about that?
Right, and they have Feral.
If anything, Tie-Dye is the... If the game progresses like this, Tie-Dye is by far away the MVP for me so far.
He's doing so well.
The
I mean,
rotations
honestly,
are insane.
if they win this game at this rate, I think that tie-dye is MVP for the whole series.
Definitely. In the first series, he just started off rocky, but scaled up to the point where he can be dealt with. Alright, now Rift Hero finally goes down. Managed to get a turret and a half, so it's your standard Rift Hero, you know. Nice little benefit for securing the objective. Tame doesn't care. As you see here, FTD might be overstaying their welcome, however. Order 66 have died, but they have come back up with a full health, and that is a great tidal wave, forcing Blaze Sand to his death soon enough. No, that Mundo ultimate still does a lot, and they actually sat in the Nivea's Glacial Storm for too long. They have to back out of here. Everybody is just at half health. No matter how far ahead you are, that's just not where you want to be. They don't want to give up this dragon, though. Their dragon control
Important to note here, by the way, that I only played Thresh on Anivia has not died.
He has not died. Ooh, Tie-Dye actually dies for the second time, but it doesn't really matter. They managed to secure the dragon, secures the death of Mundo as well. Now, Hockey Dad, this is the first time he actually is able to pop off on the Yi and is paying off in spades. Gets 1, gets 2, gets 3.
Ooh,
That's
that
4 for
hurts.
1.
Tamed went down with his ult up.
Oh, that does hurt. MMY has a run for his life. Blind hook does not hit, and a shadow dash away is enough to disengage the fights. You know, for all this lead, the gold is only 3k ahead. They do have 3 dragons, however, and that is the big thing.
2 Cloud Drakes and an Infernal. The Infernal will make it a lot easier for them to stand up to the big team fighting combos that Order 66 can bring to bear. But their Cloud Drakes are what really is going to let them play to their strengths.
Yeah, they are rotating fast enough. How much faster can they rotate? We'll find out. Now, the outer ring turrets finally goes down for FTD. Order 66 managed to capitalize on that dragon fight. I caught out a little bit, but that war still has 40% cooldown reduction, damage reduction. It's ridiculous. But Neb almost ends up dying to Infinite, ends up dying anyways. Now everybody's a little bit too far up. There are no ultimates cooldowns on the side of Order 66 that are up, and it shows. As FTD can
big mistake from Benib there, as he used Fresh's Flay to bring Tie-Dye closer just as his roar was going.
Yeah, they killed him once, but you bring down. It's like they thought that, you know, they found his Achilles heel, they took down Giant, whatever you want. That's not how it works in 11, especially when the damage shield is a tank with 40% damage reduction on ability.
This is very, very bad news right now for Order 66, because when the enemy team has a Cho'Gath and their jungler alive, there is no just stealing a Baron from them. You have to kill the enemy team if you want to take their Baron.
Nami got that. I think there was a little bit of miscommunication. It got bursted down at about 1.3k health, right? But Warwick did not have his smite up, so Tane uses Feast expecting a smite from the Warwick at the same time, but then never came in, and somehow Nami got the last hit. Ooh. Let's see if they can 2v4. It seems like they might be able to take down Billy Sand. Not enough. Titan gets ulted in by MMY, but MMY ults in at half health. It's just barely enough to keep themselves alive. Tame gets the kill, gets traded back on. Here comes the Tidal Wave on 1, 2, 3 members. Manages to melt down Order 66. Okay, down wants to come in, but he decides not to come in.
Very, very, very clean stand united from Shen. Mad props also to Not Yet a Saint and Bofom getting to the fight just in time to turn the tide.
The perfect flash! Perfect
that
flash
is, oh, that is heartbreaking. I'm pretty sure that's the first Infinite Duress Tie-Dye has missed all game.
And it was nearly perfect too, you know. Huggy Dad had to flash at the exact opportune moment in order to miss that. And
yeah, with that flash,
why does it matter?
Almost still hit.
FTD are still pushing. It still doesn't matter. They're gonna get inhibitor off this. They won't get game off this unless they really want to force it. And they want this inhibitor. They want it really badly, enough to take a 4v4. As I only play Thresh DCs, as that's a little awkward to cast like this when it's not even full game. FTD are just rolling over the side of Order 66. It seems like Order 66 are just off the rails right now, out of their minds. They're out of it. One last ditch effort as FTD back off. I think they look to reset and cleanly close out the game.
I agree.
This is how you can tell a team just doesn't really feel.
No doubt, Lucian on his next back is going to be finishing his Infinity Edge.
The Nivea DCs, and there is no pause. Okay, now there's a pause.
Very strange.
It doesn't really matter, however, since Anivia was dead during the fight, it doesn't matter that she DC'd.
Mm-hmm. So, while we have a pause, you think there is any path for victory available to Order 66?
I don't think Order 66 can win if they try to play FTD. They have to. And this is the horrible feeling when your only path to victory is out of your hands. They have to wait for FTD to make a mistake.
Yep.
Because if FTD don't make a mistake, it's just not going to work. They're too far ahead.
FTD does make mistake. It happened.
Yeah, it has happened. We have seen that during Dragonfight.
There definitely needs to be there definitely needs to be a little bit tighter, cleaner play from Order 66 for that to happen, though. There's just so much running in at bad times, being overconfident. I mean, the thing is that we are seeing Bloody Sand doing exactly what he did in Game 1, except this time he doesn't even have the benefit of having one lane first.
Oh yeah, for sure. Now they're pushing up, even without the MMY with his global stuff and with not the same. They think they can just take this 3v5. And so far they can. They're just doing all the damage. Tide goes in with that infinite duress. Doesn't actually, that's incorrect on my part. Doesn't even use the infinite duress. That's just his base damage. Now that goes in, gets bursted down immediately, along with the Thresh, along with Bloody Sand. Exonotic running away however he can. Dies to the Thresh. Tide slips away with a quarter of an inch of an infinite sliver of his HP. What do you even say to that? Both of them ends up dying to the turret. That, you know, you can't take out turret resolution when your tanks are almost dead. But they still keep pushing. 4 members of Order 66 are dead. They can just take
very,
the game right here.
very smart play from Tie-Dye there. There were moments that he could have popped Infinite Duress on someone who was out of position, but he waited for Hot Gay Dad, for Master Yi to come out, and then pop that point-blank Infinite Duress.
Definitely.
That's game 2.
Very good presence of
FTD
mind.
takes the series.
And very clean series. Very, very, very clean game here from FTD. As they now go 3-2 in their group.
Whew.
Yeah, that was a roller coaster. Anything else from that? It just, I don't know how to feel about that. It's like you said, yeah. I'm just gonna have to give the MVP over to Tie-Dye for that, the whole series, and for that game, of course.
Yeah, that was some incredible play. I mean, in an off roll, no less.
Yeah.
Man, I don't know what the plan is. I know that MMY and MMY and Not Yet a Saint are substitutes, and this putting Tie-Dye in the jungle idea is supposed to be temporary, but I think that FTD should put some serious thought into making Tie-Dye their starter jungle.
Yeah, even if he doesn't become their star jungle, they now know, and I don't know if it's a good thing or a bad thing that other teams now know too, that this guy, if needed, can flex in jungle, and he can flex in jungle hard. Of course, this also gives, you know, great presence, great peace of mind to his other teammates that, yeah, if they have to force him to flex in jungle, they don't have to worry. You know, they can get any sort of top laner that they want to keep the top lane short up and let that jungler do his work.
Incredible play all around.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. Now, this will be it for us for this match that happened in week 6 of Rampage eSports. Next week, week 7, will be actually, we haven't even decided that yet, who's streaming. We really honestly just decide that game week to week at this rate.
But at the very least, we can tell you that FTD will be facing off against SOS, probably the strongest team in Group C.
That is a hype match, you know. FTD coming off that strong, you know. If once again, I'm gonna say, even if they had a Smurf, an eligible player in their first 2 games, they would be 5-0 right now if there was an eligible player. Chances are, I'm just gonna put it out there, 2 5-0 teams, because chances are SOS wins their game this week. Actually, no, they win their game because they're facing off against Team 21, who disbanded. So yeah. In my narration, I'm gonna say it's 2 5-0 teams. You know, I just want an area like that.
May as well,
just to add to the hype. All right, and that would do it for us. So next week, FTD will face off against SOS. Order 66 will try to recuperate their losses, redeem themselves by facing off against BMO, which is not the strongest team, so to speak.
I definitely think it'll be a much easier matchup
than FTT
for Order 66 than FTD. And I think they stand a chance of taking that one. And the thing is, even though they have a much harder route through to playoffs now for having lost this, I think that they still have a shot. They just need to stay above HSR.
Definitely. And with that, that will be it for us here at Risen eSports. Thank you for watching.